Have you ever noticed how your dog seems to know something's wrong before you even say a word? Maybe you walk into the house after a stressful day, and before you can even take off your shoes, your dog is already staring at you with that tilted head, tail lowered, eyes full of concern. It's as if they can sense the heaviness in the air, the frustration you're holding in, or the sadness you're trying to hide. People often describe it as bad energy, that invisible shift in the atmosphere that dogs seem to pick up instantly. But is it really energy, or is there something deeper, more scientific going on? The truth is, dogs are masters of emotional detection. They can't understand our words the way humans do, but they read us through a language of tone, movement, scent, and rhythm that's far more powerful than speech. To a dog, bad energy isn't some mystical force. It's a collection of signals, physical, chemical, and behavioral, like tell them something is off, and their ability to notice those signals is built into who they are. Dogs have lived beside humans for tens of thousands of years. Through that time, they evolved to become incredibly sensitive to human behavior because their survival depended on it. The dogs that could read human emotions, the ones that knew when a person was angry, calm, happy, or dangerous, were the ones that stayed safe, were fed, and thrived. That ancient bond still exists today. When your dog looks at you, they're not just seeing a face, they're reading your entire emotional landscape. Part of this ability comes from their extraordinary senses. A dog's nose is a scientific marvel. While humans have around 6 million scent receptors, dogs can have up to 300 million. They can smell things that are completely invisible to us. Hormones, pheromones, even subtle chemical changes in your body caused by stress or fear. When you're anxious or upset, your body releases different compounds through sweat and breath. Your dog picks that up instantly. To them, it's as clear as a flashing sign that says, something's wrong. Their hearing plays a big role too. Dogs notice changes in tone, pitch, and volume in ways we can't. Even if you're trying to sound calm, your dog might hear the tension sitting just below your voice. Combine that with their ability to watch tiny shifts in body language, a stiff shoulder, a clenched jaw, the way you move your feet, and your dog can practically read your mood like a book. This sensitivity isn't just about perception, it's about empathy. Dogs don't just notice emotions, they feel them. When you're stressed, your dog's heart rate can actually rise to match yours. Their stress hormones spike alongside yours. It's what scientists call emotional contagion. But to you and your dog, it just feels like connection. They don't know why you're upset. They just know you are. And their instinct is to either comfort you or prepare for whatever danger might be causing your distress. When people talk about dogs sensing bad energy, they often mean those moments when a dog seems uneasy for no apparent reason, barking at a stranger, refusing to enter a room, growling when someone new arrives. While it might look like superstition, there's real logic behind it. Dogs read a combination of scent, posture, and movement. Someone carrying anger or fear smells different, moves differently, and projects tension through their muscles. Your dog might not understand the story behind that emotion, but they can feel the charge of it. To them, that's a potential threat, and their instincts tell them to be alert. Even subtle environmental changes can set them off. If the atmosphere in your home changes, maybe there's been an argument, or someone's feeling sad or angry, your dog notices before anyone else does. They might act quieter, pace around, or cling to you more than usual. They're not being dramatic, they're responding to the emotional shift in their pack. In their world, calm energy means safety. Tension means something's wrong. This ability to sense and mirror emotions is why dogs make such powerful emotional support animals. They instinctively know when to comfort someone who's grieving or anxious. They can feel when a person's energy softens or brightens, and they adjust themselves accordingly. That's also why dogs are often used in therapy settings, hospitals, schools, and even prisons. Their sensitivity helps calm people because they create balance in the emotional space around them. But there's another side to that sensitivity. Because dogs absorb the emotions around them, they can also be affected by constant stress or conflict. If the home environment is full of tension, your dog might start showing signs of anxiety, pacing, panting, whining, or even developing destructive habits. They might seem on edge all the time. It's not because they're misbehaving, it's because they're overwhelmed by the emotional signals they're constantly picking up. This is why your own emotional health directly influences your dog's well being. They reflect you. When you're calm, they're calm. When you're upset, they mirror that, sometimes without you realizing it. So, one of the best things you can do for your dog isn't just feeding them well or giving them exercise, it's taking care of your own state of mind. Before you greet your dog after a stressful day, take a moment to breathe, to let go of the weight you're carrying. When you walk in with calmer energy, your dog feels safer immediately. You might also notice how dogs react differently to people. Maybe your dog adores one friend but growls at another. That doesn't necessarily mean one person is good and the other bad. It could simply mean your dog is picking up on behavioral cues or emotional patterns that make them uneasy. Someone who moves fast, speaks loudly, or makes direct, prolonged eye contact can come off as threatening to a dog, even if that person means no harm. Meanwhile, someone with relaxed posture, a softer tone, and slower movement sends signals of safety and warmth. This same intuition applies to how they respond to children, strangers, or even other dogs. They sense imbalance in energy, hyperactivity, aggression, fear, and they adjust their behavior to match or avoid it. To us, it might seem like instinct or luck. To them, it's simply reading the room. So how can you help your dog when they sense bad energy? Whether it's coming from you, your home, or the people around you. The first step is awareness. Notice how your dog acts in different situations. Are they more anxious when certain people visit? Do they avoid a specific area of the house? Do they act differently when you're stressed versus when you're relaxed? Once you start observing, patterns will emerge. Creating a sense of calm for your dog begins with consistency. Dogs thrive on predictability, feeding times, walks, bedtime routines. When their environment feels stable, they can handle small emotional waves more easily. If tension builds, give them space. Let them retreat to a quiet corner or their favorite bed. It's not rejection, it's how they reset. Your voice also matters. When you speak to your dog, your tone carries more meaning than your words ever could. A calm, steady voice tells them everything is okay. A sharp or hurried tone can trigger unease, even if you're not angry at them. Dogs listen with their hearts as much as their ears. Touch is another powerful communicator. When your dog senses bad energy, whether it's an argument, stress, or sadness, a slow, gentle pet can work wonders. It's not just comforting for them, it also helps regulate your own nervous system. The act of calmly touching your dog releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone for both of you. It's mutual healing, a reminder that peace can be shared without words. If your dog is reacting strongly to someone or something, don't punish them for it. They're not trying to be difficult, they're communicating. Instead, acknowledge their discomfort and guide them through it calmly. Let them observe from a distance, use positive reinforcement when they stay relaxed, and show them that you're in control of the situation. Your confidence teaches them there's no need to be afraid. Over time, your dog learns what your emotional signals mean. They know when you're sad, when you're happy, when you're tired, and while they might not understand why you feel those things, they learn how to be there for you through them. That's the beauty of the human-dog bond. It's emotional intelligence without ego, compassion without judgment. When people say dogs can sense bad energy, what they're really describing is a mix of biology and empathy. Dogs don't see the world through words or logic. They see it through emotion, vibration, and rhythm. The world speaks to them in feelings, and they listen with their entire body. So when something feels off, they react, not out of fear, but out of awareness. This awareness is what makes them protectors and healers. They sense pain, sadness, and danger before we do. They comfort without asking, and they react to tension even when we think we're hiding it. The more you pay attention to how they read your energy, the more you'll understand how deeply they're connected to you. At the end of the day, dogs don't care about your mistakes, your bad moods, or your stress. They care about your energy, the real you beneath the noise. When you're authentic, when you're calm and present, your dog feels safe. When you're angry or anxious, they'll notice, not to judge but to stand guard or offer comfort. So the next time your dog acts differently, maybe they growl at someone, or they refuse to come into a room, or they stay close when you're upset, don't dismiss it as weird behavior. They're speaking in their own language, the language of energy and emotion. They're saying, I feel something here. And maybe that's the lesson dogs are always trying to teach us. That energy matters. That peace isn't just a word. It's something you can feel. Your dog feels it, lives it, mirrors it. When your energy is calm and balanced, theirs is too. In a way, they remind us to check our own emotional temperature, to slow down, to breathe, and to live with more awareness. Because if there's one thing dogs show us again and again, it's that the most honest communication doesn't come from what we say, it comes from what we feel. And they feel everything.